We have this propensity to think of things as our little kingdoms. And we fight and we argue and we debate to retain rulership over our little kingdoms. This is not only a man problem, There can be little kingdoms. Women, sometimes you have a closet that's for your shoes and dresses, and that's your little kingdom. Children, you have your little kingdoms also, where you have certain things that this is mine. I want this. That's your little kingdom that you're trying to retain and hold on to. Churches have their kingdoms. What is that church over across town doing? This is our church. What are they doing? Starting a church down the street from our church. What's that a description of? We're having our little kingdoms. We call them churches. We don't call them kingdoms because of that. Companies have their little kingdoms. We have club kingdoms, friendship kingdoms. We have Bible study kingdoms. We have hobby kingdoms. And I could go on with all the little kingdoms that we're trying to retain and say, this is my little kingdom here upon this earth. Do we understand that it is when we have those kinds of desires in our heart that Satan can flood our lives with all kinds of temptations because of that? Now I want you to understand, if we're going to fight these kinds of temptations in our lives, the number one thing is we give up our kingdoms. We give up our kingdom and say, no, I'm not going to have it. Whatever your kingdom is, whatever rights you have, whatever it is that you say, I want this so I can have control over it, it's mine. Nobody else can have it. Whatever that might be, when you're willing to give that up, the other temptations become meaningless in your life. And this is where we need to learn. You say, well, I like my little kingdom, preacher. Why are you telling me I have to give up my little kingdom? And this is the answer to your question in regards to that. Sooner or later, you're going to give up your kingdom because you don't take kingdoms with you when you die. Your kingdom is going to get left, and Jesus Christ has promised you an eternal kingdom with Him that is forever. So what else would we possibly want? Because God's giving us the greatest that possibly can be.